Hello, you gorgeous beings. Hello, hello. This is Rosanna here, channeling some rosy glow. So, what is this independence myth and how does it trap us? I just did a really long live stream, about 30 minutes long, and it cut off at the end. So, I just wanted to sort of summarize it really with this idea that so many of us are under this illusion that if we are just able to do everything ourselves, then we'll be fine and life will just be fine. And we'll be able to have everything we want because we know we're totally self-sufficient, okay? And ironically, although we can exist completely self-sufficiently to a degree, because actually we can't really if you break it down, we're not here, we're not meant to do that. It is the biggest ego trap, is this myth of independence. And I'm not saying that we don't need to be able to dig deep from our own resources here. What I'm talking about is the fact that no man is an island. And ultimately, we get into our heads that we don't need anyone and we don't need anything in order to be happy. And yes, happiness is an inside job, but ultimately we thrive rather than survive when we are interconnected with others. So how can we do this in a healthy way? Well, I see so many people, friends, family, lots and lots of my clients pushing away the very thing that they want because they feel unworthy and undeserving of it. And I have other videos on that. Around the comfort zone and also around toxicity, why would we prevent love? So I'll put the links for those once they're made in this video. But for now, what is really important is to grasp the idea that yes, we can come to this planet and we can cut off from our hearts and we can exist from our ego programming, which is in the solar plexus, which is all the conditioning that we have inherited from our time in the womb through to the first 7 years of life. And we can operate in such a way that we don't really allow ourselves to get hurt. But as a result of that, we will never step beyond the familiar. We will never step beyond the, what would I call it, stability that we've created around ourselves. And as a result of that, we'll very much limit our experience of fulfillment in life. So we kind of cut our arms and legs off, if you like, in the wrist to try and stay safe and to try and stay in our power. So one of the things about this myth of independence is the fact that somehow we feel that we are powerful when we're independent, and we are way more powerful when we are interdependent. So here's the trick, okay? When we are codependent, when we are operating from a needy place, from a place where we feel we need others for our happiness, or somehow someone outside of us has the answers, then what we do is we try and plug into them from our own being, and we, instead of connecting to source and anchoring the energy that is available to us through our bodies into the planet, around the planet and back up through us so that we're energizing our own energy field, our own ecosystem, what we do is we try to plug into others and we siphon off others what we feel they've got that we lack, okay? And that is very, very different to employing someone to teach you something that you would like to master, whether that's a coach, or whether you go to a therapist because you want to heal something, you want to understand something so that you can overcome it. You can feel safe in understanding it to be able to move beyond it. A teacher, you know, like learning to play piano, you can learn off YouTube, and you might be one of those people that works really well with being self-taught, but you might actually find that you'll benefit much more from having a teacher teach you how to play the piano, because they may teach you ways of doing things that really inspire you, and that physical contact really works. When it comes to driving, we're not currently learning to drive from simulators. We're still working with driving instructors and real life conditions, because ultimately there is so much that is gained through connecting with others and being inspired by their passion, right? So this is the other thing about the myth of independence, is that we feel like if we don't need anyone or anything, that we're strong. And actually our strength comes from plugging in to what is available to us anyway, and then being able to amplify that through our connection with others. So instead of trying to take from others in order to fulfill ourselves, we actually feel fulfilled in the first place, and our whole light shines around others, and they can shine their light around us. There's a real difference between that codependence, which is a form of energy vampirism, and this whole planet is still very much connected to that paradigm. It relates to our creation story, and it does relate to the idea that if we do not follow God's will, we will be punished, right? But really the way that I kind of interpret the creation story of Adam and Eve is that trying to do everything ourselves, trying to find our way in the world through what we know is what traps us, and it blocks the flow of what is available to us. So the mind is very, very consumed with what we know. And when we want to feel in control in order to feel safe, we will operate in the realm of the mind. We will want to understand things in order to feel safe. And there is a level of that is important. But when it actually comes to truly being able to feel safe in this world, it means knowing that in yourself you have access to everything you could possibly need, and you can activate the feeling state in you through working with your heart center. And as a result of that, you will then be able to attract to you the experiences that will help you fulfill what it is that you want to experience. But, you know, a massage is very hard to do on your own. You can self-massage, and there's a level of pleasure there, but it's much more enjoyable generally for people if someone else gives them a massage. Self-pleasure, you know, we can make love to ourselves, and there's a joy in that, but there is an even greater joy in connecting with someone else. Ultimately, we need to feel safe in connecting with ourselves first, and this is the value of taking time with ourselves. But also, when we go out into the world, we take risks, and that allows us to feel sort of capable of expanding but beyond what we're used to. So again, the myth of independence, really, from my point of view, is that if you feel as though you should know everything by now in order to succeed, if you feel as though you've read every book and you have been on every course and you have done everything you possibly could, and therefore you should know better and you should know how to bring yourself the love, the wealth, the success, the money, the health that you deserve, and you're not getting it, then the important thing is that on some level, it's important to realize that you are blocking that flow, that you are basically saying, I'm not deserving of this coming from outside. I'm not going to allow myself to have it from the outside because I'm scared of losing it again. And so if I just try and do everything myself, then I know I can do it on my own, and no one can take that away from me. And in the longer video, I gave the example of a plumber. And I was like, right, so a plumber could train to be an electrician, could train to be a builder, could train to be an architect, could train to be a project manager, could train to be anything else that is necessary to build a house. And he could do it all himself. How long is it going to take him? Right? Versus a plumber could recognize that he needs a project manager, an electrician, a builder, an architect in order to build a house. And because he's really skilled at what he does, he can attract to him others who are highly skilled in what they do, and he can recognize that they are highly skilled because he is highly skilled in his profession. So he perfects what he can, but he knows that if he cannot actually, or she, sorry, because it could be plumbing women, if she doesn't know something already, she is going to need to go outside of herself in order to learn it and then to integrate it. So this is where we look at why it is helpful to go to others, why it is helpful to seek out those that are already in the flow of what it is we want to create, and to recognize that we're not giving our power away to them by working with them. We're actually tapping into their energy. We're tapping into the flow that they've already connected with, and we're learning how to connect to it ourselves through observing and learning from something they have already mastered. Now, that is very different to endlessly searching around, doing one course after another, one workshop after another, reading one self-help book after another, trying to find the answers, and never actually implementing with any consistency and persistency the things that you have been seeking to learn outside of you. So the answers are in here, right? You set things in motion. You say, I want to have this experience. You recognize that you are deserving of it, that your needs are valid, that you are worthy of having your needs met. And in acknowledging what it is that you want and you need, you then allow yourself to welcome it into your life. And, you know, money, for example, if someone offers to lend you the money to pay for something, and you push it away because you feel you should be able to earn that money yourself, that's crazy. The money's coming to you. Accept it, okay? And then step into the place where you feel you can pay it back. If you want to buy a house, but you're stuck in this idea that you've got to do it all yourself, if someone gifts you a house or the money to buy a house and you go, no, I mustn't because I haven't earned it myself, you are blocking the flow. If you want to have a relationship and something shows up in your life, but you don't feel you're quite ready yet because, you know, you haven't finished your degree, or, you know, you're still working on yourself, or you haven't lost that extra stone, or you have some intimacy issues, and you're going to keep something from you that is already knocking on your door that you're feeling compelled to explore. Again, what is going on there? You are blocking the flow. Okay, so remember, the key here to trusting this balance between stepping from codependence through independence to interdependence is, from codependence, you want to unplug, right? And from trying to take energy from others, and from others trying to take energy from you in order to validate your existence. You go through independence, so you pull out all of those plugs, and then you plug into source. So you plug into the luminaries, whether you call that the source of all that is, the center of the multiverse, whether you call it the sun, the moon, the stars, your celestial guides, whatever you're into, I really don't mind. You bring that energy through your body, you connect it to the earth, you recognize that you are a frequency of energy, and you deserve to be the best possible frequency of energy you possibly can be in any one moment. That means that you're enjoying your experience of life as well as being of benefit to the world around you. And you anchor that light into the earth, so you are an acupuncture needle of love and light. You send that energy around the planet, you pull it back up through you, and you connect to the energy of this earth as well. This is you plugging into source, plugging into the ascending earth paradigm, plugging into all of the sources of support that are available to you, that are eternal, that are a reflection of your essence. And then from that fulfilled place, knowing within you, you can access whatever it is you want and what you need by claiming your right to it, and that you are deserving of it by virtue of the fact that you desire it, and evolving your desire to move from the ego will, which is to control things in order to feel safe, to your divine will, which is trusting that your higher self, that the source of all, could not possibly want anything less than you do. In fact, they've got a way better idea. That aspect of your being has a way better idea of how to give you access to what you want, and so much more of it. So you turn your will to divine will, which is the aspect of your being that is your higher self. And that is when you plug in. That is when you allow yourself to radiate a frequency that will act like a magnet for those that are in resonance to what you want. And that's how you build your house together with the other experts, if you like, that have perfected their skills to the best of their ability at that time, and now they're working together with others. Does that make sense? I hope so. And I will leave the other live stream up. It's about 30 minutes long, so it's a bit longer, but I hope this gives you a taste of the idea that, you know, it is safe to have needs, it is safe to have wants, it is safe to be clear that you can have a desire, and that desire can change. It's very, very important to know what you want, you know, and usually we learn what we want from what we don't want. But the idea that someone else is ever going to make you feel safe, the idea that someone else is ever going to be responsible for your happiness, is a real myth. And that is where we've moved to this point of independence. So a lovely thing that was said to me once upon a time is that when you are not afraid of failure, you will succeed. And when you are not afraid of pain, you will feel happiness. Ironically, this is the way life is. And it's so true. You know, I've had my heart broken at least 9, if not 10 times. And when I say heartbroken, I mean devastated. But you know what that taught me? That taught me the difference between longing, which is what I thought love was, and love, genuine love, okay? Also, for every experience I went through, I learned that I had put my happiness in the hands of others, and that actually, really, whatever happens, whether people come or go, it does not take away from my intrinsic worth, my intrinsic deserving, my intrinsic allowance of the experience of fulfillment, of joy, of all the good things. It's okay to welcome grace and ease into your life. It is okay to have what you want. And once you have it, you then have to deal with the fear of not losing it. And this is where commitment phobia comes in. Okay, so I'm going to do another video on that one. I'm going to leave this one there, and I look forward to your comments. If you know that you would like to explore all this further, then please remember that my hashtag is liberation from limitation. It works across the board. The work that I do frees you. It frees you to enjoy more love, more health, more money, more success, more fulfillment, more anything that you actually want. So do check out my breakthrough calls, and also you may want to find out about my one-to-one and my group coaching. I specialize in fertility, So supporting people to raise their consciousness, to bring in the high frequency souls that want to come to this planet. And I also specialize in fearlessness and authentic power. And that doesn't mean I'm not scared of things. For example, I'm terrified of snakes, and I'm going to make a video about that. But it means that I have personally moved through the limitations that have prevented me from welcoming love, success, happiness, wealth into my life. And that's what I share with others. And the better it gets, the better it gets. So check out the description box below for more details. Sending you loads of love. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel, and why not share it with someone else who would really benefit from it. You deserve to have what you want, and you don't have to be anything other than what you are right now to be worthy of love. You may well need to work with yourself to develop that worthiness and to self-care, by all means, but just by virtue of the fact that you're watching this video, remember that you are ready to vibrate with love, and in so doing, you'll have it attracting to you, and through that, you will unblock the flow. Lots of love for now. Take care now.